Welcome back to RUCS Race. As we're about to wrap up our show, I'm here subbing for John here in hashtag John's Corner, the analysis corner. I will be talking about the race weekend in RUCS and the upcoming race weekend in RUCS, and then I'll send it back to the desk to sign off. So first, let's talk about Indy and look at that chase grid. IndyCar has a smaller chase grid. In fact, only 8 drivers got in this season, and then each round you only lose 2 drivers, and then you'll still have a final 4. Obviously, Ashton has won Chase Race 1. He got a spot in round 2 of the chase. And we do not have a clip of a finish to the IndyCar race at Texas, but I do remember it, and I will be able to talk about what happened there. So, on the final restart, Nas actually got wrecked by Ashton, and Ashton came down on Pablo. After the race, due to that, Nas was done with Ashton. He left A&M. That's actually some big news right there. Nas was announced that he was going to go to HAR after having too many problems with A&N, as he posted on a social media post on the group wall. So anyways, as we look at the chase grid here, I will post now my concerns for each driver, starting with our most recent winner, Ashton. So obviously Ashton with the win, even though people didn't like how he won it, I'm actually going to give this a low concern. Oops. So yeah, I don't have much concern for this, but I give it a low. Because obviously he won, and so there's not much to say about that, and if he keeps it up, he'll probably get to the round of 4 at most. But now I'm going to go to Redneck in the 6th, and he has had a great season nonetheless, but he didn't show up to Chase Race 1, so actually I expressed some low concern there instead of none. Also, I think I did low for Ashton. I meant to do none, but we'll go back to that. So obviously, I have low concern for him, not none, but low, but not too high concern. So obviously, he didn't show up to Chase Race 1. He's had a great season. That's honestly the only thing that's keeping me at a low concern. If he showed up and he had a decent race, I would give him no concern there. But we'll move on to the 5 of Nas. And I have some medium concern for him because he's had to drive with some problems lately, considering he has left A&N. He's going to have to drive with that in his mind. That could cause him to race differently. He's had a great season as well in IndyCar. He was, I believe, second or first in points coming into the chase. So I do show some medium concern for him. But if he picks it up in the next races, that concern will go down. So we'll move on to, looks like, Pavel. And Pavel, I have some low concern for. Pavel did have a chance to win that, but people say that Ashton came down on him. But if you're a racer like Pavel, you gotta try to get around that, even if you're on the bottom and he comes down on you. I mean, I wouldn't blame you for that, but sometimes you just gotta lay off instead of losing a race by wrecking. So I almost had none concern for him, but he's just gotta be a little bit less aggressive with his racing and try not to get wrecked in the end there. And now I'll move on to Quiz. He is apparently back. He's posted something on the group wall for pit crew offers, but I do However, I had medium concern for him because he hasn't shown up in a while, and I feel like his skill has worn off. He has that one win at Charlotte, which is great because he held off Aston there in the end, which is that showed some great skill there. But he's got to show up to show me that I don't have to have much concern for him. Hopefully, he'll be back. And next is Tyler, and obviously he hasn't been here in a while. I have nothing but high concern for him. If it's true that he actually quit Roblox, then he's obviously not going to go anywhere, so high concern all across the board. And not much else to say about Tyler there. But next is Weehawk, and he shows up regularly, which I like, but his racing is not there yet. But he's a young driver with RMR. His father's Lucky, who has 1 win in RUCS, but I have medium concern for him because he needs to just try to race better. He hasn't had a win yet in RUCS at all. But maybe you can change that, you never know. Next is WoW, and I have low concern for him. I almost had medium, but he's shown me in the past couple of weeks that he has what it takes for a young RUCS driver. Well, now even though it's not no concern, he's still got what it takes to hang in there and possibly get a Final 4 spot. And we'll see what happens. But that's the IndyCar chase concerns. Now we're going to move on to RUCS trucks. We're actually in the regular season for that. Only 4 people through 5 races had guaranteed their spot in the chase, and you can get a spot in the chase early with a win. And there's been 5 races and 4 different racers. Dar has 2 wins this season, as he won Daytona and Phoenix. So obviously he's on top of the board. I'll start with him, and I have no concern with him. Dar has shown outstanding skill in the trucks all season. We didn't see this out of him last season, but he's obviously had a great off season, and he's ready to go. So no concern for him whatsoever for the rest of the season. Now we move on to JJ. And for JJ, I actually have no concern. I mean, JJ is sometimes annoying, and he's sometimes hated in RUCS, but no concern because all that matters is his racing, and he hasn't really been like causing big wrecks and stuff, and he's gotten 1 win too, the big race with lots of people. So next is that Zero is actually angry. I do not have a truck from him, so I just put him in default 0. And I have low concern. He's only showed up to 1 race. He's gotten 1 win, so however he races with ANN, so that just puts his concern rate up a little bit. But I mean, if he doesn't let Aston like make his mind polluted, then he'll have no concern for the most part. Now we move on to Jake. He is back. Jake is back. And all I have to say is I really don't see anything out of him that gives me concern, because he's shown up to 1 race and he's got 1 win. I have no concern across the board. So it looks like we're going to have to go break here in less than a minute, and we'll finish up the analysis and we'll conclude the show. I'll start with 1 driver in Cup now. So Cup obviously just did the Texas chase race, and AfroCrap won that. As you can see, the Cup chase grid is pretty dense. 2 people have guaranteed their spot in the Final 4. It's Pablo and AfroCrap. And it looks like we're gonna go to break right now, and we'll finish the show right after this.